Hi everyone, welcome back to Waste Not Wednesday. So today I came up with these adorable little snowmen that I made from used coffee creamer containers. So here's a supply list, but just use it as a guide. Just use what you have on hand. The idea is to spark your creativity. I decided to make one kid-friendly and one more adult, but you can do whatever you want. Just let your imagination go. So the first thing you want to do is remove the outer plastic off of the containers and take the lids off. You could use spray paint if you want. You can leave them clear. Now, if you're using chalk paint, you only need about 2 coats to truly cover the clear, but you can use acrylic paints or you can actually leave them clear if you want. So the kid-friendly one was actually already white, so I chose not to do anything to it other than paint the tops. Spray paint would also be a great alternative, and it would be really fairly quick. But here I'm just going to paint, let it dry, and then I ended up doing 2 coats, I believe, is what I ended up doing. And I'll paint the tops black. Okay, so we're also going to paint our tops. I'm going to paint them black as well. And then we're going to use a piece of cardboard. Now I happen to have a empty coffee container, and I'm going to paint it black, and that'll be the brim of the hat. But you could also just use whatever you have. A paper plate would work. I actually looked over and saw the top of a mason jar and decided for the adult one that that's what I was going to use. And here I'm just painting the top. I painted the top and the bottom. So here's the mason jar lid that I found. So I'm just going to paint it black and let it dry. I ended up doing 2 coats on everything, the cardboard as well as the mason jar. All right. So for the details, you can use a pen, marker, or paint. I painted on eyes and a mouth and a nose, and then I came back with a marker and added a little more detail. For the cheeks, I just used some diluted pink paint and just smashed it on his cheeks. And here I'm just adding to the adult one a lot of little more details than a child would actually add. Just take your time, be creative, do whatever feels right to you. Now here's the kid one. I'm going to outline it in marker. Now for the mouth, I just dipped the end of a paintbrush into paint and made little dots with the end of the paintbrush. And I did the same for the eyes. Now for the arms, I just went out into the yard and found some sticks and just tried to get some that looked like arms. And here I am just playing around trying to figure out which ones to use where. And you could just poke a hole in the sides. I happen to have a soldering gun, so I'm going to use it to poke holes into the sides of my containers to slip the arms through the sticks. Now to hold the sticks in place, I just put some hot glue and stuck it through the hole and held it in place till it cooled. Okay, so we're just going to figure out which arms we're going to use. Don't ask me what I was thinking. I knew that that was way too long and I still wanted to use it. So I ended up breaking it. And then, like I said, I'm just going to come back and put a dab of hot glue on the end, stick it back through the hole, and hold it in place till the hot glue dries. All right, so we're trying to figure out for our little guy what arms we're going to use for him. And make our holes to put it in. This obviously isn't kid friendly, which is why I said you could use anything to poke a hole. So all I did was make a circle for the brim, cut it out, and then I just screwed the top on in place. And it actually held it in place. For the adult one, for the top of the mason jar lid, I just hot glued it on and then came back with some black paint and painted over the dried hot glue. So here I am. I'm just going to stick a little bit of hot glue on the end of the stick and then poke it through the hole and hold it in place until it dries. All right, I'm going to repeat for the other side. These had acorns, and I really wanted to use them because of the acorns, but they wouldn't hold up in the small container. All right, so let's glue this one in place. It really just takes about 5 seconds or so for the glue to cool enough to hold it in place. And you could stop at any point. If this is all you wanted to do, that's great. They look adorable no matter what you do to them. Okay, so now we're going to make them a scarf. So I just took a piece of fabric that I had lying around, and I'm going to wrap it around them, tie it in a scarf knot. I didn't actually tie it, I just looped it over itself. And to keep it in place, you can just hot glue it and make it stay wherever you want it to stay. So I'm just adding a little dab of hot glue, sort of bunching the fabric up. And then I'll slip the other piece over it and then under it so that it just forms a little scarf knot and looks cute. Now to hold it in place, I'll just use the hot glue and glue it down. For the ends, I just cut it to the length that I needed it, and then I just used the scissors to make the ends of the scarf. The back was a little bunched up, so I'm just going to take some hot glue and hold it in place so that it's in the spot that I need it to. It kept wanting to ride up. So I'm just going to tack this front part down as well with a little hot glue so it stays in place. Just adjust it till it looks cute and then add a dab of glue. Now I'm going to fray the ends simply by taking the pair of scissors and just cutting little notches all along the bottom. You can make them as wide as you want, or if you have children and you don't want them to have scissors, you could just leave them plain. Look how cute, you guys. I'm so proud of how they came out. They actually look adorable. Now, if you didn't have fabric, you could definitely use ribbon. You could make, from the cardboard even, you could cut out a scarf and hot glue it onto there. There he is. All done. Okay, for the adult one, I decided to use ribbon just so I could show you guys how to use different things. And I do the same process. Because it's so wide, I just sort of bunched it up. And then I'll hot glue it down, make the little scarf knot, and glue it all in place. Glue down the back of it so it's not so thick. And then I'll fray the edges as well. I'll speed this up so you guys have seen the first one. Okay, we just need to find him some arms and attach them. Once again, this is that was a soldering on, but you can easily use a X-Acto knife or something like that. I'm just gonna hot glue, stick it in the hole, and hold it in place till they cool, and they will stay in the position that you put them in. And all of this is optional. If you just wanted to make with no arms, you could. If you wanted to get even more creative and add a broom in them, that would be even adorable. It's meant to spark your creativity. You guys make your own. If you do, please make sure you tag at Original Junk Gypsy in it so that we can see what you made. Now I'm going to take and put some things on his hat just to add a little something extra. But again, this is totally optional. I'm going to add lights to this one. So what I'm going to do is cut out the back and make a slot for my lights to go into. And I'm just using Dollar Tree battery operated lights. It's a little battery pack. So I'm just cutting an opening to put in the battery pack. And here it is. I'm just going to take it out and just sort of throw them inside. And it would make an awesome night light for your kids too. I don't understand why they wrap these things around each other. It's really not difficult. It's just aggravating. So I'm just going to slip them inside. And the little latch that I made on the back will allow me to open it and turn it on and off. Now we're going to add the things to his hat. So I had some sprigs off of an old wreath, and all I did was cut them down and hot glue them. I'll show you here in a second how I actually cut them down. It was just, I had like some little berries on it as well, so I just cut them off. So see, here's the whole piece, and I just used my scissors and broke through the wire and cut a smaller piece. And then I trimmed it down so it was so big. I just trimmed some of the needles down. And then you just hot glue it in place. And then I just took the little red berry ball. It's made out of styrofoam, but I just put a little bit of hot glue and stuck it on there as well. I'd be really curious to see what you guys make, but I just think he's so cute. And I love making crafts that don't look like crafts. So here they are, guys. What do you guys think? Please comment below what you think. You can find me on Facebook at Original Junk Gypsy, where I share all my finds and treasures. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and we thank you so much for watching.